Hello everyone and welcome to somebody. In today's video I'm going to be going over the collaboration as a whole, giving a full collaboration review. Of course, all of the events from the collaboration have come out by now, and all the collaboration events do disappear on Tuesday, so I thought I would do a full video going over them, including the banner, the characters, and the events. When it comes to events, I'll also be including the daily login as well, because that's an event during the collaboration, the boss, the event Tower of Trial that came out recently, as well as the Labyrinth. Characters-wise, of course, we were going over all four, and then banner, here we are here with the banner. So, the banner, in my opinion, it's super mediocre in comparison to, like, what we could have got. The only real good characters on this banner, if you are a newer player, would have been Green Merlin, because of course her relic is very good, and also Ulrush as well. Nanashi, because of course Nanashi's relic and he's insane with unknowns. And of course Tamio, Sariel, and then of course Ludo's always nice to have at least one copy of, because he's not actually that bad. Apart from that, the banner wasn't that good from a lot of my friends. The main character they were getting was Red Gotha or Red Escanor. I can back it, I did get 5 Red Gothas, which is a lot. But I didn't play any of the others though. Of course, you do have characters like Blue Camilla, who I'm pretty sure this is like her first or second time on a different banner other than her own. So that was kind of nice to see. Of course, Ludo is seasonal as well. Hawk and Oslo, I'm pretty sure this is New Year Hawk and Oslo, so this is another seasonal character. But I do believe they definitely should have put some better unknowns on there, maybe a Ragnarok or two, just because if a newer player was to stop playing, and let's say they started now, theoretically, with this banner, you could make a team. If you used Ainz, Shaltir, Albedo, and then Nanashi with Relic, yeah, you have a team, but you need Nanashi's Relic. I would have preferred if they put, like, not Tyr, because of course Tyr is completely busted, and that would have made the banner even, like, too good. Like, Green or Red Freya. Because Red Freya is very good for Demonic Beast, and she's always just a nice one to have dupes for, and then Green Freya is, of course, PvP based, so it would have worked well. Of course, as well as like limiting the banner's usefulness to PvP. That's just my thoughts. But overall, the banner's not too bad, of course. At 3%, I would have preferred 4, but I do understand that it's a new collab, so if you do get an SSR, there is a very high likely it is going to be a collab. It's nearly 50%, it's closer to like 33-ish% chance of whenever you get SSR, it's going to be a collab character. Of course, I got really lucky, but a lot of my friends, well, all of my friends did not get the luckiest, which is sort of unfortunate. But that's just how banners work. Some of the characters that just don't need to be on the banner. Red Escanor, LR, there's no LR for him. Red Gotha's nice to have, but he's so common and you get him for free. At the start for logging in for I think for like a month straight or whatever, or 2 weeks, I don't know what it is. But you get him for free. Well, like, Escanor is like, he's good, but he's not usable nowadays. Like, there's a replacement for him everywhere, so it's not like he's even usable anymore. But the banner's not too bad. We'll go into the characters next. On to the characters. So, of course, I'll be going for all of them in order of Ainz, Albedo, Shaltir, Cocytus, in that order, because that's just the order that I've got it in the favorites tab, so... That's also the order I wrote down on my notepad, which is kind of insane. But the characters aren't too bad. Ainz, of course... He does have a half-limited passive, meaning that the insta-kill death thing only works in PvP, which is understandable, to be honest. Having an insta-kill mechanic is kind of insane as it is, but he's not too bad, unfortunately. You do need to have him, I guess, 6/6 for him to be useful elsewhere, because that's when the damage reduction really starts to, like, kick in. But... it's, even at 1/6, he's not too bad. When I was using him at 1/6, he wasn't bad. Yeah, he does prefer AoE characters, and currently in the meta when counter characters and, you know, hell exist, it's probably not the best. I do think in the future, if AoE, AoE unknowns come back, he could actually be pretty good. But currently, I'm going to say he sits, I would put him in, like, if I had to rank them, I'd put him 3rd place. Of all 4 of them, I'd put him 3rd place. Because he's usable, he could definitely be usable. Of course, at 6/6, you know, you could definitely bump him up to 2nd if you really wanted to. But at 1/6, I'm going to stick him at 3rd. Because he's okay, but there are better. Of course, you have Albedo, who is the next one on the list. Completely busted and everywhere. I don't know what they're going to have to do to... Yes, to like outplay her. Yes, in theory you could outplay her now, and it's pretty actually easy to counter her if you know how to counter her. but of course it can be a pain for some players who are not sure how to counter her. Because she has, like, if you attack her, she gets the attack-related stat boost. If you don't attack her, which is what you'd normally do if there was a counter up, your team takes more damage. Then her stance gets removed, she gives everyone an attack boost. She's probably got another DPS on the team, like Sholtir or something like that. It's going to completely wipe you. Overall, she's a really busted character. Of course, the difference between 1-6 and 6-6 with her ultimate, as her passive is not, you know, linked to her ultimate, it's actually insane. I also said that Overlord is probably the only character on the collaboration banner who I'd recommend 2 gear sets for, HP defense and attack crit dam. That is, of course, if you want to use her as a tank in PvE, of course, if more PvE content comes out, where she could be a good tank for. And of course, attack crit dam for some PvE content that is like just bosses, like really easy bosses where she can just one-shot them, or even just the general, you know, dogs, deer, bird that we currently have. Because I was using her attack crit dam in my videos, and if you've seen those videos, she just absolutely melts them. And she is on every single Demonic Beast team now, apart from Nidhogg. Of course, you can use her on Nidhogg, but of course you'd want to be running like LLs and stuff like that. But I don't have a card. I can get LLs next week. I'm at 99 LR coins. It's painful. But I'm going to put Overlord at 1, just because of usability. She's good in PvP, she's good in PvE, she's good everywhere. She's good in all the Demonic Beasts. You know, she has such a large pool of like things she's good at. That even if she was to be kicked out of the meta somehow, let's say they were literally to design a character to fully counter her, she would still have so many other avenues that she would work in that she would still, in my opinion, be worth summoning for. Because she's so good everywhere else. Also, her ultimate difference between 1-6 and 6-6 is the quell effect and the attack increase, which is actually kind of insane. She's got Queen Diane's ability as well as having, instead of a heal, she has more damage, which is kind of absurd. I'm not sure it's the same multiplier as Queen Diane, but 50% per stance, she gives herself 2 stances, which is of course 1 less than Queen Diane anyway. But 100% damage dealt increase. By the way, it's damage dealt, it's not just a multiplier increase, it's 100% damage dealt whenever she has a counter up, which is absurd. It's basically 2 times damage. Plus she gives herself 50% more crit chance and crit damage. She already has very good basic stats, sub-stats already, having 111% crit chance and 230% crit damage with HP defense on. You know, with HP crit, you know, if you're running HP crit damage or attack crit dam, you know, you're looking at 258, right, crit damage, plus, you know, her 6-6, 258, you're looking at 380 crit damage at 6-6. With the ult, which is the increased 2 times damage dealt, plus the extra 50% crit chance from her, you know, thing, plus all the attack credit stat boost she gives herself, she is #1 solid. She is a solid #1 character on this banner in this collaboration because she has so much going for her. She's got insane damage reduction, insane DPS, she's got a very strong ult, she's got a very strong counter, she's got a very unique counter with it as well. She also got a half-decent skill that lowers not attack-related stats, but damage dealt. That means it works on Mael, so if Goddess has ever come back, you know, Albedo can still sit there and be like, okay, I can still lower your damage dealt. Which is some things a lot, you know, some characters don't have. They have attack lower, which is something that just doesn't work nowadays. And to his damage dealt lower is probably the best way to go for debuffs nowadays, because it can't be countered by, you know, the Ultimate One's ability to can't have his stats lowered by base. Well, it's fine, because you'll just lower his damage dealt instead, which in my opinion is probably quite a bit more impactful than lowering his attack by like 15%, which is what it would have been at level 1. Which her level 1 is 30%, 50%, and 80%. Absurd. Onto the next character, which is called Sholtir, easily #2. She has insane healing. She can practically heal your whole team. So of course in Final Boss and in Knighthood bosses, she's going to be very good for getting that complete with above 70% HP. She's got insane damage skill. Her ultimate is 6-6 is a nuke. Her ultimate 1-6 is sort of a nuke, but can also cause, could definitely be improved. Also, Sholtir is another character that theoretically you could have HP defense and attack crit dam. HP defense would be more impactful, of course, in PvP if you want to tank, and then PvE just attack crit dam because most things are not going to be able to do that, dish out that much damage to you. Her skill, she also has a very unique skill as well, which is Exploit, which is of course her unique thing, which is what they like to give collaboration characters nowadays. It's at least one unique skill and or buff and passive even sometimes. But she's very good. The ability to heal your whole team is also insane. Yes, she does decrease her own defense, which she does get the attack boost. But the attack boost, in my opinion, is actually better than Purgatory Melee's, because Purgatory Melee's only lasts for 1 skill, where hers lasts for, you know, the entire turn, which is kind of absurd. Bear in mind, you can then pair it with the ultimate. If you have the ultimate 6-6 as well, you're getting 100% attack-related stats. If you have the buff plus her 6-6, you know, you're going to be dealing a lot of damage. But I mainly see her use probably in some like PvE modes, mainly Final Boss, with the new Final Boss coming up actually. She's used in that, which is kind of nice. And of course onto Cocutus. Of course, unfortunately, I do have to give them the 4th slot because of usability. Every other character can be used in PvE and PvP, where of course Cocutus is unfortunately limited to PvE, which is it's slightly irritating. But of course, with that, he does get the ability to increase HP by 40%, and all stats by 50%. Of course, if you use his cards 5 times, of course, I'm only talking about the max amount you can get. With that, the only problem is that he requires debuffs, the enemies to apply debuffs to you, which is normally quite easy. But sometimes in PvE, some bosses don't have debuff skills, and of course he doesn't work in Demonic Beast as well. So you know, if he works in Demonic Beast, I would probably give him 3. I'd put Irons at 4. But Cocutus, yeah, unfortunately, I have to give him a 4. And with the up-and-coming Final Boss, he's not even used in it because the Final Boss doesn't really debuff you, so it's sort of it's a little bit iffy. But of course, in the future, he could be half decent for some PvE content. Of course, the Nighthead boss, the current one that's out on Global, of course I used him there, and he was actually very good. No, it's actually really useful to have him. But overall, he's a really cool character design. I wish, you know, he worked in Demonic Beast, so I could pump him up even maybe to 2, because I really like this. Such a unique character design for a character to add in this game. So you've got every other character, no other character has 4 arms, you know, no other character is completely non-humanoid, of course, not including Hawk and Oslo. You know. But let's get on to the events now anyway. So of course, the first event we're going to go over is of course the daily login, getting 2 tickets, getting 1 free multi within 2 days, and then getting 100 diamonds in total. It's kind of nice. It's better than what they did with, what's it called, Jobless Reincarnated and Demon King, where they gave you tickets instead of giving you the ability to get diamonds as well. I do like getting diamonds instead of tickets because it does give you a little bit more freedom, whether if you don't want to summon, or you know, you get the character and like, let's say you summon on Demon King, you only want 1 copy of him, you get him in like 3 multis, and now you've got a bunch of other random summons you don't really want to do, and you wish you got diamonds instead. But this is probably the best way to do it in my opinion. They give us 3 multis and 100 diamonds, which is equivalent to 190 diamonds worth of summons, which is good. I like it. It's not too bad. Of course, then you have like all your daily crap anyway. But let's get on to the actual main events. So the main event you had, of course, you had the tickets. We got Cocutus for free. Labyrinth event, bingo, exchange with king, and then draw heroes. Pretty simple stuff. The bingo itself wasn't too bad. I can actually look at the rewards still, which is nice. You got 2 relics from here, and then of course an Irons headgear, which isn't bad. UR pendants, always nice. Always nice to get UR pendants. Overall, not too bad. I do wish that maybe they changed up a little bit. Bingo is like used like every single month, I swear, and it's kind of irritating. The event boss really cool. I really did enjoy this event boss. Just overall cool animations, very unique sort of design. I really liked the fact they had a stance as well. Of course, if you had Overlord characters, it did make it a hell of a lot easier if you had the Overlord characters. Even being able to 2-turn it if you had Albiter, which is insane. The rewards weren't too bad. You get a relic and get some 5 diamonds. You can get all of these. Of course, you're a free-to-play player. I highly recommend at least grabbing all of the demon mats and all the general materials you would use to level up characters, because, you know, it's always nice to be able to push Boxy C whenever you want to. On to the Event Tower trial. So the Event Tower trial was actually pretty good. 33 Super Awakening coins is very nice. Of course, also getting 3 SA coins, 3 SSR pendants, getting 10 anvils and 10 hammers and 200 anvils is not bad. 30 Super Awakening coins is just under half a 1/6 SA6 character, so it is actually not too bad. Also, you know, you got 5 stamina pots at the start, so if you do every single like floor in one go, you come out of it with 3 spare stam pots, which is nice. You actually make profit on it. Also, you get all the other rewards that you don't really get very often, being like food for demons, you know, the perfumes and all the stuff you use to level up character outfits. Not too bad. And of course, the final event we had, I'm not going to add this, it's just the random, you pick a chest, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't get lucky. Labyrinth. So Labyrinth, in this time, it was very grindy. With the rewards they gave you, it was very grindy, I'm not going to lie. But the grind was fun, because you got to buy crystals, and then of course, if you had the collaboration characters, you could use them, which was nice. And I do enjoy using the collaboration characters. I used Sholto, I streamed it, which was very fun, streaming, talking to you guys. It was very fun and very enjoyable. Overall, this collab, I'm going to say this collaboration was, I'm talking for characters and events, I'm putting a number 1. Number 2 is still ReZero Rerun. But if ReZero's characters were, if all of the characters were usable, or during the rerun, then yeah, I would put them number 1. But having every character usable like still like after 2 weeks isn't bad, and is actually very good. Because normally like, oh, the character's like really cool and it's got a cool niche, but these characters are very good. Of course, you know, over time they will get flushed out of meta, but then of course then you have PvE, and then PvE is like very big in this game as well, so it's not too big of a problem. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know your guys' opinion on these collaboration characters in the comments, and make sure you subscribe and like the video, because we're on the road to 1,000 now, which is feel really weird to say. It was really weird to say that. But anyway, thanks for the support recently. Goodbye.